Whether you have a manual ranging meter like this one or an auto ranging meter like this, display counts determine where the meter switches ranges. These are both 2000 count meters, which means the display counts up to 1999, and this leftmost digit cannot go above 2. So where the decimal place appears in the display determines what voltage range the meter can measure up to. I'm in the 2-volt range right now, which means this meter, both of these meters, will count up to 1.999. Once I go above 2 volts, then the display cannot have a 2 here. It must put the 2 over here, which means the decimal place must move over to this position. So let's take the voltage up and show you how these switch ranges. Let me take it up to 1.9 volts. And right now you'll see the decimal place is right here. Once I go to 2 volts, this digit cannot be a 2. So the decimal place is going to move over 1 to the right. That means it switched ranges, and it will show the 2 volts in the second digit. So you see the decimal place moved over and the 2 is here. We have now moved out of this guy's range. He can only show up to 2 volts or 1.99 volts. So we have to manually switch that range to the 20 volt range. So now, since this display counts up to 1999, you'll be able to count up to 19.99 volts before it needs to switch ranges again. That's why this is the 20 volt range. Let's take the voltage up to 20 volts. And at 20 volts, we again automatically switched ranges. The decimal place moved over 1 position again so that I can have the 2 in this second digit position. And I am now out of range on the 20 volt range, which means I have to manually switch this guy. And now you're showing the 20 volts. So he's going to be able to count up again to 1999 in the display, which means he can count up to 199.9 volts before I have to switch ranges again. So the higher the display counts you have, the higher the resolution you'll be able to show at higher voltages. Here I have a 2000 count, a 4000 count, and a 6000 count meter sitting side by side. At 1 volt, they all have 3 decimal places of resolution. As soon as I go over 2 volts, I am going to lose that 3rd decimal place of resolution on my 2000 count meter, where I still have it on the 4 and the 6. I'll lose that 3rd decimal place of resolution on the 4000 count meter once I go over 4 volts. Now they're both down to having 2 decimal places of resolution. And of course on the 6000 count, I'll lose that when I go over 6 volts, and now they're all down to 2 decimal places of resolution. That higher resolution is more important than just showing 3 decimal places of resolution or 2 decimal places. The number of decimal places you have affects your accuracy. There's a link to another video on accuracy in the description of this one. Take a look at that to understand how display counts will affect the accuracy of your meter. There's a lot more to learn about selecting the right meter or how to use your current meter more effectively. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to learn more about meters and to see reviews.